Yes, the ugly truth is this Obamacare is probably going to get jammed right down our throat. Before I came here tonight, Lewis from Chicago, a representative, has got his vote bought because he was guaranteed that the president next will go for amnesty for all the illegals here in the United States. This is what's happening today in America. What is the proper care of our medical system? Quite frankly, the federal government shouldn't even be involved in it. This is a 10th, according to our Constitution, this is a 10th Amendment issue. It should be to the states. If we want low insurance costs, let's create that competition. Let's let those insurance companies cross the boundaries of these states and shop nationwide. Joe Gibbs always told us, when he brought in 8 people to take our job every year, competition brings out the best in everyone. That's what we got to have, is competition. We also got to be able to allow our small businesses to group up and buy that big plan, just like a major corporation, to keep their costs down. Let's get rid of these frivolous lawsuits and the extra procedures that doctors happen to take to protect themselves against lawsuits. There are so many other areas other than a complete takeover by our government. And let me ask you, what has government ever successfully ran well? Think back to public housing.
I would agree with both Didier and Cody on this, especially Cody. He's a doctor, he would know best. But no, I would agree that we do need to be able to shop across state lines, and that we definitely do need tort reform. Is that enough? I don't really know for sure, but the route we're going now only leads us down a path of into a place we really can't come from, and we really don't want to go. So that's where I stand.
We've been asking the wrong questions. We've been asking how much should the federal government get involved, or what can they do, and how much should they do here, and how much should they pay here. The real question is whether or not the federal government should be involved at all. That's the question that we had, because it is a 10th Amendment, right? And unfortunately, as Clint mentioned, I do think it's going to get passed. The analogy I've been using is typical of, if you remember 1991 when we drove Saddam Hussein back into Iraq out of Kuwait, remember what he did? He knew he was going to lose, so you remember what he did? He lit all the wells on fire. Scorched earth policy, that's what's happening here. They know they're going to lose the House. They know that it's going to get close in the Senate. They figure they're going to pass it, and then they'll fight it, and then if a bill come out of it to try to repeal it, Obama will veto it, and they'll send it back. This battle is going to be won, I believe, by the Attorneys General. I had coffee yesterday with Rob McKenna. We talked about how the Attorneys General, I think there's already 27 of them on board that are discussing about how they're going to fight it from the state level, and that's what's going to have to take place. When you elect a United States Senator or someone to the House of Representatives, you're electing them to go to work with other people. There's 100 senators, 435 members of the U.S. House of Representatives. Anybody who shows up and says, this is what I'm going to do and it's going to happen, they're either naive or they're pandering to you. You're sending someone back there who will represent your values, who will work with 100 other people or 99 other people who are representing their states and what they're doing. And we've got to go back there and work with them and get this back into the states so that we can kill the Obamacare bill.
You know, this whole healthcare process is oddly creepy and unethical. And it reminds me a lot of a book I read a long time ago. Has anybody read Atlas Shrugged? And in that book, the central government planners, they get increasingly desperate to plan for the society, and they get increasingly demanding about what they need to do to take control. And finally, one guy, he just almost pounds his fist down and he says, we must control people in order to force them to be free. And that's what I feel like when the healthcare debate's going on. You know, it would be so much easier to be a liberal, to go out and promise you something that I will pay with somebody else's money. You know, the average person on the street can't tell you what's wrong with this suggestion. I want to raise everybody's net income to $100,000 so that you can pay for your health care. If your company can't afford to pay that $100,000 salary for you, we will subsidize them with tax dollars. To provide those tax dollars, we'll tax you. What's wrong with that system? The average liberal can't tell you what's wrong with that system. And so it's so much easier to promise without consequence. You know, Thoreau said that for every 1,000 people hacking at the leaves of evil, there is one hacking at the root. I agree with everything these gentlemen have said, but if you look at the root of increasing costs in healthcare, it goes right back to 1965 on every graph. What happened in 1965? The creation of Medicare. The rest is history.
All right, for question number 2, what role should the government play in promoting green jobs or in environmental sustainability?
And I'm going to start this one because I think it's only fair we rotate down as we go here. Green jobs. That means you got to play along with this climate bill. As a farmer, I realize the author of life, from conception to natural death, and I also realize the Creator created the perfect system. Carbon dioxide is consumed by the plants I grow on that farm, and it brings forth oxygen. Without carbon dioxide, my plants won't be healthy. The phony science has been brought out. Green jobs have cost this nation a wealth because we are chasing that fictional item. We need to unleash our natural resources. We got to go after the oil. We got to create nuclear energy, and with nuclear energy comes nuclear medicine. We're cutting ourselves short right now on diagnostic procedure medicine called medical isotopes. They also fight children with cancer. In males, prostate cancer, success rates are incredibly high. In women, breast cancer, success rates are incredibly high. We got to get away from this green energy bill, this green jobs. It's not helping our country out. This is killing our country, and we got to get away from it. We have also got to look into other areas, cold fusion, geothermal, and we have to unleash and be able to let all of our businesses go after these energies without this regulation that's crippling our whole country. As a farmer, I see the regulation coming, and it's on us hard. Thank you.
I do believe in climate change, but I don't believe it's man-made. I think the going green is just a way of government getting deeper into our pockets and controlling our way of life. I've heard that they're trying to take our land that has all of our resources on it and protect it just for the sake of the environment. Well, how come it just so happens that all this land is where our richest deposits of energy are? I think we have to ask ourselves these questions. Is it really because we're trying to protect the environment, or is there something a little bit more sinister going on there, and are people trying to usurp our rights to property? And so I would agree, we need to drill, whatever it takes. We need to become a little bit more independent with our energy resources. And we could get those people that are getting those resources out of the ground to go ahead and use the money that they do profit and use that money to innovate and create things like Clint was talking about. And that's where I stand on the green jobs.